Hey, what is up everybody? Welcome into a new video. Today I'm going to be talking about the Breath of Fire games and ranking them from worst to best. Let's get right into the video and let's start off with the first entry we're going to be talking about, which is Breath of Fire 5 Dragon Quarter at number 5. Breath of Fire 5 Dragon Quarter was a game that was very unique in the Breath of Fire games. It was very different from the other games and it had a lot of roguelike elements. There was a bigger learning curve to this game because of the roguelike elements that they added into the game, and because of that, it really alienated a lot of people. It also played very different from the other Breath of Fire games, and it was ultimately the game that kind of killed the series. Ultimately though, Breath of Fire 5, it has a lot of really unique things to it. For example, the gameplay is very different from the other games of the series, which helps it really stand out. Also, it has a really good soundtrack that was worked on by Hitoshi Sakamoto, who is the main composer for Final Fantasy Tactics. He did a very good job composing the music in Breath of Fire 5, and I gotta give him props. The game's music is very good. And the game overall offers a very unique gameplay experience, and I think it is a little bit underrated. Overall, Breath of Fire 5 Dragon Quarter I'm putting at number 5. Alright, now coming in at number 4, we got Breath of Fire 3. Breath of Fire 3 had one of the best dragon systems of the series with the Jing system, which allowed you to transform into many different dragon forms for the main character Ryu. The game also had a really cool feature where you fought enemies right where you encountered them as you were exploring areas, and I really liked that a lot about the game. The game's music was also quite good, and the story had some really good plot twists as well. Unfortunately, the game had many mandatory minigames that you were forced to do to progress the game. Overall, Breath of Fire 3 is going to come in at number 4. At number 3, I'm going to put Breath of Fire 1. Breath of Fire 1, the original, is a really great classic game. The game had very fun gameplay, very fun dungeons to explore, and the exploration abilities that each character got in the game really made the exploring in the game very enjoyable. It was cool finding hidden passageways, being able to explore in different ways, and I really liked this game a lot. Not only was the gameplay a lot of fun, but the music in the game was very well composed with a lot of memorable, great songs. The game had a ton of cool dragon forms that Ryu, the main character, could transform into, and that was a really good part of the game. There was a ton of hidden secrets that were in the game, and it was really fun finding them and getting cool new abilities. Unfortunately, there is a few problems with Breath of Fire 1. The writing and the storyline in the game isn't really that great. Another problem was that the game was very vague on where to go, and it didn't really give you that great of hints, and so finding out where to go next in the game could kind of be a major problem in Breath of Fire 1. Overall, Breath of Fire 1 is a great old school entry in the series. It is a lot of fun to play. It has really good music. Even though it is the first game of the franchise, it's still a very enjoyable game, even with the problems it does have. I really enjoy Breath of Fire 1. I've replayed it multiple times and had a lot of fun playing through this game every time. Coming in at number 2, we got Breath of Fire 2. Breath of Fire 2 was a big improvement over Breath of Fire 1 in many regards. First off, the writing and the story in the game is very good. The characters are far better developed than in Breath of Fire 1. The plot has many great plot twists to it, and this game towards the second half has one of the most jaw-dropping character deaths I've ever seen in an RPG game, and probably one of the saddest character deaths I've seen in a video game, with a really good cutscene that left me absolutely stunned when I first saw it. It was a really well done part of the story, and it was a really great cutscene, and it was one of the saddest character deaths I've ever seen in an RPG game, and it genuinely made me quite impressed with how powerful the cutscene was. The music in Breath of Fire 2 is generally pretty good. That being said, the graphics are a big improvement over Breath of Fire 1. Like Breath of Fire 1, they bring the abilities back for exploring, and the abilities give you a lot of different ways to get across the world map and to explore dungeons and to find hidden passageways and be able to access new areas. The gameplay in general was improved from Breath of Fire 1, with the game having a little bit of a higher level of challenge and a more refined battle system. That being said, there are a few problems with the gameplay of Breath of Fire 2. The game has an incredibly high encounter rate towards the end of the game, and also The dragging system in the game kind of sucks. You basically use a dragging form ability. Ryu does an attack and then it uses up all of his AP, which is like the magic point system of the game. That all being said, Breath of Fire 2 is an incredibly good entry in the franchise. I really enjoyed playing through it. I really had a great time playing the game. I've replayed it a couple of times, and it's overall a great game. Now at number 1, it is going to be Breath of Fire 4. Breath of Fire 4 to me is the best entry of the franchise. It has incredibly good graphics. The animation in the game is very well done. It's very beautifully animated. The gameplay in the game is really great. You get a ton of awesome characters in the battle system. During battles, you can combine magic spells together to do even more powerful magic abilities. And then also the dragon form system in the game is good without being crazy overpowered. A really cool, unique thing about the storyline in Breath of Fire 4 is that there are 2 sides to the story. You play as one side as Ryu, the main character, and you see the story from his perspective, but then at other parts of the game, you go to the other side of the story where he plays the main antagonist of the game, Fal Lu, who is a very cool character, and you get to see the storyline from his perspective, and because of that, you get alternate viewpoints on what is going on in the game's story and world. Another really great thing about Breath of Fire 4 is the music. The music in the game is incredibly good. There are great battle themes, there are great boss themes, there are very good area themes. The music in the game is one of the best video game soundtracks I've ever listened to. The game also had a very cool battle system because you could swap party members in the middle of battle just like Final Fantasy X. The flaws with Breath of Fire 4 would be that the game was rushed, and because of that, certain parts of the story were never fully fleshed out, which is very unfortunate. And then also that the game has some mini games that you are forced to do just like Breath of Fire 3. That is a part that is a flaw of the game. I wish there wasn't mandatory mini games in order to proceed through the game, but you do have to do the mini games in order to get through some parts of the main story. Overall, Breath of Fire 4 is my personal favorite of the series. As always, thank you all so much for watching the YouTube video. I really greatly appreciate it. Please make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel for more videos on RPGs. Thank you all so much for the support. I really greatly appreciate it, and I will catch you all in the next video.